Today, we're going to explore the daily mental habit of resilient people. And to really understand how transformative this can be, I want to introduce you to Jennifer. Now, Jennifer never really considered herself a resilient person. When she looked around, she always admired those people who just seemed to stay perfectly calm during the most difficult, chaotic seasons of life. You know the type, right? The people who seem to bounce back quickly from disappointment. The ones who don't completely fall apart when life suddenly becomes unpredictable. As she navigated her own busy day-to-day, she'd watch these individuals with a sense of quiet awe, really wondering how on earth they managed to carry heavy burdens with such incredible grace. But then, within a span of just 18 months, Jennifer's own life dramatically changed. It was like a giant wave hit her all at once. In month one, her company went through a massive restructuring, and suddenly she lost a job she had held for nearly 20 years. That was a career that had defined a huge part of her identity and her daily routine. Then, about 8 months later, her father became seriously ill, which thrust her right into the emotionally draining and complex role of caregiver. And as if that wasn't enough, right at the 18-month mark, her youngest child moved away to university. The house just went completely quiet. For the first time in years, everything that was familiar and grounding to her felt like it was shifting beneath her feet. Facing all of this, Jennifer felt completely, utterly overwhelmed. She remembered those calm, steady people she had always admired, and she kind of came to a quiet, somewhat defeated conclusion. She figured they were simply wired differently. She actually believed that resilience was a genetic lottery, just a fixed personality trait you were either born with or you weren't. And looking at her own stress and anxiety in that moment, she felt absolutely certain that she wasn't. But then came a pivotal morning. Jennifer was sitting quietly at her kitchen table. The house was still asleep. She had this blank notebook right in front of her and a warm cup of coffee in her hands. Feeling the immense weight of all this unknown pressing down on her, she picked up a pen and she wrote down a single, simple question. What can I control today? She didn't know it in that quiet moment, but asking that specific question was going to become a daily habit, one that would completely transform how she experienced the second half of her life. So let's talk about redefining true resilience and how it's actually a daily choice. Because the truth is, resilience is absolutely not a superpower that a few lucky people are just born with. It's a daily practice. It's something that grows deeply and robustly through the small choices we make every single day. Have you ever noticed how we tend to imagine that resilient people just don't feel stress? We see their calm exterior and we just assume, oh, they don't experience the heartbreak, the fear, or the exhaustion that the rest of us do. But honestly, that expectation is a complete myth. Resilient people still experience deep stress. They still feel the sting of disappointment, and they definitely still face the daunting realities of uncertainty. The true difference lies entirely in how they respond to that difficulty. True resilience is beautifully defined as the ability to recover, adapt, and continue moving forward without allowing life's challenges to define who you are. It's about not letting a hard season become your entire identity. When life forces an unexpected detour, it's about facing the storm, feeling the rain, and eventually finding the strength to adjust your sails. Okay, let's dive into this next part, the power of the pause and creating space before reacting. Because this is where the practical magic happens. When we look at highly resilient people, there is one single common habit that stands out way above the rest: the intentional pause. When something unexpected or upsetting happens, our natural temptation, and I mean our deeply human temptation, is to respond immediately. We want to worry right away. We want to assume the absolute worst-case scenario. We kind of want to let our immediate emotions grab the steering wheel. But a resilient person actively creates a vital, small space between what happens to them and how they choose to respond. They widen that gap just enough so that they can breathe. And what's really fascinating is what they do inside that space. In that brief pause, they ask themselves much better questions. Instead of panicking, they ask, what can I learn from this? They ask, just like Jennifer did, what is still within my control? And finally, they ask, what is the next wise step? Notice they don't ask to fix the whole problem all at once. They just look for the next single wise step. It's a gentle pivot from feeling like a victim of circumstance to becoming an active participant in their own recovery. Now, this isn't just some psychological trick. It's grounded in our actual biology. Our brains are fundamentally designed to notice problems. Think about it. That survival instinct is exactly how human beings have stayed alive for thousands of years. Our ancestors needed to hyper-focus on the negative, the rustle in the bushes, the looming storm, just to survive physical threats. But in our modern world, we aren't usually running from physical danger. Yet our brains still react to a sudden job loss, a difficult diagnosis, or an empty nest with that exact same intense, unbridled alarm. If every single modern setback receives our full emotional attention, pumping stress hormones into our system, we quickly become completely mentally and physically exhausted. The intentional pause physically interrupts that exhausting cycle. It acts as a necessary circuit breaker. It calms the immediate panic response and allows your hard-earned, mature wisdom to speak before your worry takes over the narrative. And this brilliantly illustrates how we can build this habit today. Let's look at some practical habits for renewal, actions you can apply immediately. Let's move from the theory into some highly practical actions that you can start using right away. You can begin building this habit today with 3 incredibly simple practices. First, create just 5 minutes of daily quiet. Just 5 minutes without your phone, without notifications or distractions, to hit the reset button on your thinking. Why? Well, because we live in an era of constant noise. By stepping away, you give your nervous system permission to stand down and practice that pause. Second, write down one challenge you are currently facing. Look at it on the paper and ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually influence today? When a problem stays in our head, it feels massive and unconquerable. Getting it out on paper shrinks it down to reality, allowing you to focus your valuable energy only on what you can change. And third, end your day by identifying just one thing that went well. This isn't about ignoring the hard things, not at all. It's about balance. Resilience grows significantly when we actively train our minds to notice our progress, our blessings, and our strength, not just our problems. These might seem like very small habits, but small habits, practiced consistently, create truly remarkable change over time. Which brings us to choosing wisdom over worry. Let's return to Jennifer's story for a moment. Bringing this all full circle, months after that quiet morning with her coffee and her notebook, Jennifer sat down and looked back through the pages of her journal. And what she realized was absolutely striking. The challenges in her life hadn't just magically disappeared overnight. Her career was still in transition, her father's health was still a journey with good days and bad days, and her house was for sure still quiet without her youngest child. Some of these challenges were very much still unfolding. But as she read page after page, something really important revealed itself. The circumstances didn't immediately change, but Jennifer did. She was noticeably calmer, she felt more hopeful, she was moving through her days with a quiet, steady confidence. She recognized a profound internal shift. In the past, her default mindset was always a reaction of fear. Why is this happening to me? But her present mindset, cultivated through that daily habit of pausing and looking for what she could control, was entirely different. Now she was asking, how can I grow through this? This change in perspective didn't magically remove the storms from her life because, let's face it, we all have to face the weather. But it gave her the wisdom, the strength, and the vessel to navigate those storms beautifully. I really want to leave you with this thought today. Resilience is not built in life's easiest moments. It grows each time you choose wisdom over worry, hope over fear, and purpose over discouragement. It is a daily choice, a daily renewal. If this explainer encouraged you today, please take a moment to like it. It genuinely helps more people discover our community. And if you're not already part of it, please subscribe and join us as we explore practical ways to renew your health, mind, faith, relationships, and purpose. Most importantly, if someone you care about is walking through a difficult season right now, share this explainer with them. It might be exactly the encouragement they need today. This is Renewed After 40, helping people over 40 thrive in the second half of life. Until next time, keep renewing your life. One day, one habit, one step at a time.